they will give you always the best rate.
They connect to Binance, HitBTC, LMAX, and Kraken.
What I like about SwissBorg is that they have an amazing app.
Pow wow, yo yippee, yay guys. Pile number 11, super excited to be with you guys today. As the new format indicates, we are going to talk about what's happening in the news of the week, then tackle what's happening on the markets with a little nice bump that happened today, and then talk about how SwissBorg ecosystem is flourishing on a daily basis, as you guys know, and talk about our lovely community. As you guys know, my name is Cyrus Fazel. I'm the proud founder and CEO of SwissBorg, always here to serve you. News of the week. Things are looking quite well, actually. You're seeing more and more adoption from big institutional, but as well from big institutionals that actually are pouring into crypto. So Goldman Sachs is working with Galaxy Digital, which is one of the main prime brokers of crypto, to facilitate the first over-the-counter trade. So Goldman Sachs has been talking about getting into crypto since 2017, but not has made a really big move. Massive FOMO. Now that there's a correction, obviously they're looking into this. Another very interesting contender is Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab is one of the biggest, I would say, ETF provider and wealth manager in the US with 7.6 trillion assets under management. 7.6 trillion. That's just crazy. They're about to pour into doing a lot of different ETFs type for retail institutional clients in the US. So this will be a great gateway for people to get into crypto without really trading and knowing. So this is going to bring a lot of great, essentially, volume and new adoption into crypto, which is really going to facilitate the next bull run. Talking about super manager players, we talked about how a lot of different countries are trying to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. Obviously, there's been El Salvador, which was the first one, but now Honduras is trying to do exactly the same thing. So this is definitely going to push the market to adopt a new country, then another country, and another country. And this is definitely going to be a very good sign for crypto. I think so. Another thing that is interesting to talk about is that Ukraine has officially legalized crypto. Makes it sense to receiving donations on a daily basis. And if you want to donate, I think so there's a lot of different charities for doing this. So this is really great. Last but not least, people are getting hacked. It's happening very often. But you know what to do. Protect your assets at all time. Create an account with SwissBorg, deposit it there, and yield and yodel, and make sure that you do not share anything regarding your mobile app to anyone around this place. Market update. So what is happening regarding the correlation of BTC and stocks? We've seen that been very correlated since August, right? We're seeing here pretty much the same pattern, the McDonald's sign here, that McDonald's sign, and then a quite heavily dropped another McDonald's, small McDonald here. And now we're seeing stocks actually are going a little bit better than Bitcoin. So it's interesting to see that correlation is bigger. And that's due to the fact of a lot of institutional players putting crypto into these risky baskets and therefore selling it when things are not doing well and then buying it whenever it is. Risk on, risk off type of strategy. In terms of what is happening now in terms of the altcoin and the whole different blockchain market, we've seen that essentially, Binance Smart Chain, if you remember in 2020, with DeFi and other different projects, but mainly with DeFi, has really been the blockchain that's picked up. And unfortunately for them, Binance Smart Chain has a bit dropped in the last year because mainly for different reasons. And we're seeing a lot of new things happening on Avalanche. Avalanche and Terra has been really the two blockchains that we're seeing more and more growth and in a very crazy way, especially on Terra blockchain, obviously with UST being probably one of the main catalysts for this because people are looking for high rates in UST on stablecoins, and this has been doing really well, taking consideration that the team has bought over $1 billion of Bitcoin as a reserve and pouring in $2 more billion of Bitcoin in the reserves to make sure that a non-EVM blockchain could essentially scale. And I think so this is we're at this cornerstone was very interesting, because so far we've seen that mainly if you want to have a scalable solution and a great adoption of crypto, you have to be really relied on an EVM. And that means that you're compatible with Ethereum. So essentially your fork, right? For Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, and Avalanche and others, right? Phantom's a little bit a different case. But now we're seeing more and more juice happening on Terra. It's really the cool kid out of the block. What's your thoughts? Do you guys would like us to list UST and get high rates on that? Please comment in the section here. Thank you. What about our dear lovely CHSB? Well, CHSB has been quite correlated over the past, since its existence to the market, sometimes massively overperforming it and sometimes not, a little bit underperforming. Right now, obviously, the CHSB trend is correlated to the markets, which is, usually what things do in most scenarios. Still waiting for a big influx of more people to get into premium, and as well, obviously, the yodeling growing on a daily basis. Two catalysts are waited, and obviously, we're preparing some good things to make sure we're going to enjoy this beautiful spring and even more the summertime. Question of the week from our dear community members. Do you know if the Cyborg Predictor is often correct? So first question I want to make sure is, do you know what's the difference between Cyborg Predictor and essentially SwissBorg Indicator? The Cyborg Predictor looks on a very low time frame. It's more like a daily type of chart that gives you predictions on if a trend is going to happen, right? If it's a bullish trend or if it's a bearish trend. And the SwissBorg Indicator does the same thing pretty much. However, it's more on a midterm. So we're looking more on weekly type of charts. So if you're a daily trader, Cyborg Predictor is your thing. If you're more, midterm investor, well, then you should go into the app time to time and make sure that the indicator is strong. If the indicator is not strong for the Cyborg Predictor or SwissBorg Indicator, there's like 1 or 2, for example, bars, the accuracy, it's not great. That's because the confidence level is not very strong. If it is, though, very strong, has 3 or 4 bars, then there's a very high accuracy that goes with the Cyborg Predictor and as well as SwissBorg Indicator. We will actually do a lovely blog about this and hope to bring more into it. But in general, it works quite well with certain coins. It doesn't work so well with other ones. And if you have the 3 or 4 bars, the confidence level is quite high. The accuracy, therefore, it becomes as well much higher. Community sentiment of the week, and I love this, by the way, just making clear from Jeffrey to Kurila to Laurel. I like it. I really like the fact that you guys comment, and the protect and choose. I think so. From the protect and burn to the protect and choose, it's just to get more things out of you guys, right? Make you more responsible for the votes. For voting to really secure what's going to be, the future of our network. I don't think that we said that the protect and choose was a new way to not burn. We thought it would be a better way to essentially express your guys' thoughts on how we could essentially bring in new ways to use this pool to burn it or not burn it. So I think this is from the feedback that has done. We're going to try to understand a little bit more what you guys have in mind. Please here comment and share your thoughts. If tomorrow we do implement this protect and choose, and if you always vote for burn, it's just going to burn. So nothing's going to change. But I think so. The idea is always have this open discussion with you guys to eventually really see what is the best outcome for us. Referral bounty of the week. There's a new position, regulatory risk and control specialist. If you want to be part of our family, just please apply to the job. Refer one of your friends. You could earn up to $3,000 worth of CHSB tokens. Every week we have a lot of lovely people that are joining the SwissBorg fam and as employees and and entrepreneurs obviously. And I think so. This was a really nice one that was done by Ola, Maxime, Sergio, and Sebastian. And they said, how can you improve the community experience? I'm pretty sure you're all going to agree on these ones, but what are the ones you like the most? So stop loss, recurring buy, and smart alerts. The 3 are different, obviously. The first one is really for risk management, for daily for daily as well traders, I think so, which is really good. I think so the recurring buying is something very important that you guys should set up. You could already do it with your bank, right? You could set up like every end of the month, I will send, 500 euros or whatever, 100 francs or 10,000, whatever your limit is. And I think this is something that you should guys do very often, especially in times when this is good probably to reload on the longer run. The smart alerts, I think so this is something that, I believe is very important. I would love to see that, where you see that there's a price action happening. It wakes you up and say, hey man, you're doing great, you're not doing great, or you missed this, or you're about to miss the next episode, right? I think so these are the 3 different things that I would love to see. What's your thoughts? Something else as well, I think this came up multiple different times, but this would be like a pool where we would essentially let this pool happen, and it'll be called the BorgAid Pool. And whenever there's something happening on the planet, we could help this cause by donating to this great way, and we could all become philanthroporgs. I think so. It's really cool. Give me your thoughts there as well. Massive shout out to Ricardo. Thank you so much, Ricardo, for everything what you're doing. You've been a great advocate on Twitter, on Discord, being a guardian, doing multiple different things of really bringing the SwissBorg flag to a lot of beautiful different people around this planet. Thank you so much for really being active in the good moments as well in the more difficult moments. Happy birthday as well. Feliz Navidad, I think so. That's Feliz Navidad. Isn't that Merry Christmas? Okay, got it totally wrong. But anyways, what I wanted to tell you, Ricardo, is thank you so much for your strong being persistent and all the green love for the great green laser eyes that you have. SwissBorg strategic priorities, as you guys know, to remember this, where is the Cyborg going to be leading? Towards growing the SwissBorg token itself, making more utilities, making sure we're able to use it in multiple different ways. Thematics is the heart as well of our products, being one of the first, if not the first platform in the world that are able you to buy Thematics. Will you be the holder of those? And last but not least, bringing the yodeling crew, the custom yield, making this better, having different profile risk, having be able to set up as well a different time frame for the lockup, but last but not least, to have a different payout. Those 3 are going to bring SwissBorg to the next big chapter. Those 3 big chapters are really big for us, and this is our big priority of this year. I want to shout out as well a bit to KYC AML team, which is really knowing our community, preventing money laundering, terrorism financing, and protect your assets at all time, man. And I know sometimes it's a bit slow, but there's so much to be done from the level 1, right, to the level 2. Level 1 is usually it's very fast, within 19 minutes done. The level 2, over 100,000 users are there. Takes usually, 23 minutes on average. And the level 3, which is obviously very more intensive, especially when we have people that have their whole source of wealth in crypto, is very hard to understand where you have to do chain analysis and all that to make sure everything is compliant. I just want to shout out to the team there. Obviously, they're doing extremely great work, and thank you guys as well for being patient for this. If it happens that your case number 3 is not going well, please ask them to say, hey, just call me. I think so that could be an interesting way to start. If you get approved, if you get disapproved your application for the 3rd level once or twice, then just like have a call, and I'm sure our wonderful KYC and AML team will be glad to contact you and deal with this, and hopefully you get onboarded as soon as possible. 2 weeks from now, we're going to be having the Metafest. It's going to be one of the nicest conference about how to enjoy the metaverse. The metaverse, the Web3 version, the one where we really believe in, the decentralized one. Obviously, as SwissBorg, we think that gaming is really big, but art as well, NFTs. And this is going to be a great event for all of you guys to come enjoy, talk about what's going to happen in the metaverse, All of that on the heart of the Swiss Alps in Crans-Montana. It's going to be a really, really cool place. A lot of guest speakers, a lot of different projects, and renowned people like Mike Horn's going to be there. A lot of great artists. There's going to be auctions taking place. And we're going to be talking about two big things about XBorg, the new meta guild that we're building with SwissBorg, but as well as Suniverse, the new thing about how Crypto Challenge is going to actually decentralize itself and how we're going to grow. So we're looking forward to have all of you guys. It's happening in 2 weeks from now. It's going to be happening on the 7th. It is from noon to 2 o'clock in the morning. So you guys want to sleep over there, I think this makes a lot of sense. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a dinner. There's going to have as well, there's going to be a really cool party that's going to be going on, and some auctions. And the day after, it's Caprice in Crans-Montana. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of beautiful DJs the day after. So guys, please book your tickets and see you on top of the slopes in Crans-Montana, April 7th. SwissBorg and chart of the week, we're seeing a lot of people how essentially they are yielding and wallets per users. We have actually a fair amount of people that are yielding in most currencies, which is great. Over 110,000 actually are yielding today into all of these different cryptos, which is really good. And we're seeing that over time, CHSB obviously has been a strong dominant one, but we had ETH when ETH yields are a little bit higher. We had BNB that has a little bit changed over time when we've brought it. Obviously, USDC has been one of the biggest one, but slowly we have reduced it a lot recently. And the great news is that we're working very, very hard. Cannot say when and what, but I assure you guys, we're very comfortable to say that, yeah, USDC is gonna bring a lot of new assets within the app, and I'm very bullish. Weekly CHSB data. Things are going a little bit slower as at last week. We're at the 250 instead of 450 to 500 in terms of new premiums, but still good numbers nevertheless. If not, the token and the staking is pretty much stable as most weeks. So 80% there locked. Pretty much stable, 3% up. A little bit less than 130,000 people in the app that have the CHSB holding it there. And which brings us to the community index.
Community index
7.3, better than last week. Things are going slightly better than last week, which is great. Social media not, so guys, please wake up and share and comment here. But yeah, things are greener than last week, which is good. And hopefully we'll get even a better score next week. Tomorrow night is Battle of the Blockchains with Alex. He looks really crazy and pissed off on this one. And it's a new format. It's a new format where Alex is going to be doing a lot of different things. I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be very different. I'm very pumped about this. And yeah, let's see how things evolve with Cryptonite, which is our favorite TV show, with the Pow Wow, of course. Borgers, I think so. This has been a good week. We are picking up from last week numbers, so this is good. I think so. It's again a great time for everyone to realize, that what we're doing here, it's a long-term play. What we're doing here is for the faith, to change the faith of the course of actions of the whole centralized planet, right? And trying to bring wealth, create wealth, understand where there's value. I know that tomorrow we're going to have like some juicy news about a new token that will be able to yield. There's other things as well that we're looking forward. The P2P, peer-to-peer payments. That's going to be something I really like to talk about in the very next future, because we're going to be launching it quite soon. And I hope that you guys, are trying to figure out, what would be the best way to grow, essentially a SwissBorg network with this peer-to-peer payments. There's so much things down the line. I'm super excited. I heard that's great news probably happening next week as well. So guys, I know it looks still hard. I know the token is trading at 45 cents. I know that assets are a little bit flowing out the app. Maybe there's half of the people that are becoming premium, only 250 instead of 500. But look, in wintertime, it's sometimes very hard to do good results. And what I know is that I remain resilient. I know that you are resilient. So showcase that to your loved ones, showcase that to people that are in the elevator, people that are your neighbors, and get to get into crypto. I think so. This is something that is really important. As always, be happy, stay wealthy, and love our CHSB. Take care, guys. Bye.
Through SwissBorg, all assets will have a fiat gateway. And here is the thing.
Premium features gives you zero fee trading.
It's an amazing fiat gateway.